Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Housewife Historian, and we are here to talk the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm going to be talking a little bit in code today because if you watch my channel and you watch my live, yes.
Is the plane going down? Are we going to die? Why are you saying I'm sorry?
Hey guys, happy Monday. I am the Housewife Historian, and you can call me Lindsay. We are talking Real Housewives of New Jersey today, guys. We should be getting a trailer, I hope any day now. We got a release of a scene between TERESA and Jennifer at the gym. It was so cute, very authentic, guys. We're going to have an authentic season coming from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and it's going to be coming soon, okay? They want to keep the momentum from the wedding going, obviously, because Bravo invested a lot of time and money into a 3-part series that will have TERESA, the families, the sisters, and of course some of the housewives were in attendance, and Jackie Goldschneider alleges that she wasn't paid, but she couldn't speak on Margaret's behalf. That's what she said. So anyways, guys, before we get into all of this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on. I'm going to be uploading a lot today, so turn your notifications on, okay? Now, I know, like I said, we have so much to talk about after the weekend. However, I've been kind of stewing on this, and I just haven't had an opportunity to get it to you guys. But back on the 15th, Melissa Gorga did an On Display podcast, and she really, I don't even know the word. I wouldn't even say passive aggressive. I think that she gave a lot of hidden innuendos, and she really was speaking for Andy Cohen. She was speaking for Carlos King. She brought up Penny and the whole bridesmaid situation and tried to circle that back to TERESA. The clip I'm going to play for you guys, though, is going to be as it pertains to TERESA on Watch What Happens Live, okay? Now, every time we see Melissa, when we see her in the headlines, when we hear about the On Display podcast, we typically hear Melissa and Joe somewhere in that mix, right? And vice versa. Melissa and Joe get asked about TERESA. That's the way it is. But it really seems like TERESA's not saying much. All she's saying is, look, I'm watching old seasons. Maybe she didn't watch it fully all of the time, every single episode, but it really, guys, it makes sense because she was going into the reunions blind. And sometimes when there would be arguments, even with the other ladies, and all of us had watched this season, we'd be like, why didn't TERESA say that? Or she could have used that as a comeback, or yada, yada, yada. But if she wasn't watching the whole season, she wasn't prepared when she went to the reunion, right? And I think it's very possible she could have watched bits and pieces. I think that if they did have to write blogs, maybe TERESA did have somebody else writing her blogs. Would that be so out of the ordinary? I mean, look at nowadays, people have entire social media managers, because Melissa is alleging that TERESA is, one, lying that she was watching the show, because they had to do all of these blogs every week, recap the show, and she's saying that they had to do it for every episode, and there's no way that TERESA was doing that and not watching the episodes. I think that's very possible. And I also think that maybe it's not that she didn't watch from day one. Like, I'm sure the first couple of seasons she probably definitely watched. And maybe after Joe and Melissa got on the show and the fighting got so bad, maybe like season 4, she just quit watching it. That's very possible, and it makes a lot of sense, guys. It really does, because I think that had TERESA heard some of the things that were said in the confessionals by Melissa about her, I do think that we would have seen the demise of their relationship a long time ago. And I think that this is also why we didn't see Melissa as a bridesmaid, and that why TERESA was so adamant that she wasn't going to invite Melissa just because it was the proper thing to do and because her brother said so. Because she still had a raw resentment for all of the things that Melissa had been saying in confessionals from years. So that's what she's claiming, number one. Number two, Melissa is claiming that it's making sense. It's coming full circle because Teresa's watching the old episodes. And now all the old hater accounts are coming out with all of these clips from like 10 years ago. So Melissa is blaming Teresa for stan accounts or tree huggers, just tree huggers on Instagram, posting clips from older seasons, yes, of Melissa and yes, of things she said, but why does it matter? Why should you be embarrassed are you embarrassed of the things that you said? Like, does it not go with the narrative that you're trying to roll with, that, you know, you kind of were, you know, like you're the victim, you're victimized by Teresa, and that she's been trying to set you up all these years? And she also makes the comment like, the formula is always to come onto the show new and talk bad about Melissa to Teresa, and that's how you get on the show. And she's like, by the time they're done, they're going to be saying that I'm like killing dogs or hurting babies. Like, it was rough, guys. It was a rough podcast. But it's even more rough that you're blaming Instagram accounts for reposting from old scenes, which we do all that all the time. Like when Lisa Rinna during Beverly Hills, I posted like a ton of old videos of her going back to see her parents in Oregon, her children never having been to their grandparents' home. It's a normal thing to do when we're getting ready to come back into the season. We don't have any new footage to post, so we go back and post stuff. And she speaks on behalf of Andy Cohen. She speaks on behalf of Carlos King. Excuse me. And it seems like she's getting really ballsy, okay? And it's like, are you doing that to be problematic for attention, or do you know that you may not have an opportunity to do it again next year at this time? Because if you guys watched What Happened Live, and I posted a clip on my Instagram when Joe and Melissa went on to watch What Happens Live, Andy Cohen asked Melissa if she was over the fact that her and Joe had went on the show behind Teresa's back. And adamantly, Melissa says that that's not true. That Teresa got a phone call. Teresa knew that they were going to be filming that day. And she like leans over to put her hand on Andy's chair. And she's like, Andy, you know that she knew we were coming on the show. And like his face just says it all. It just says like, you're lying. She got a phone call like 5 days ahead of time. So also in this podcast, Melissa says Teresa got a call. How did she say it? She kind of screwed it up, and I'm going to tell you why. Because she's claiming that Teresa knew, and that she knew that they were interviewing before they were even gone on, she was getting on the show. And she was claiming that they called and told Teresa that they were interviewing Melissa for the show. That makes zero sense. Why would Bravo call Teresa and say, hey, we're interviewing your sister-in-law for the show? They would have never done that. Do they call and say, hey, we're interviewing your friend for the show? No, that's an extra phone call for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would they do that? They would never do that. And so that makes me feel like you're bold-faced lying. And Kim D said, quit lying, Melissa. You have a chance to get out of this, okay? You have a chance to maybe come out a little with some dignity out of this situation, because people are really saying that this could end up being one of Bravo's biggest scams that's, you know, about to come out any day, like the needle's about to drop. Kim D said Melissa's problem is she lies. Kim D said, she said she's a liar. She's a pathological liar. Kim D said it on Behind the Velvet Rope with David. She said Melissa is a pathological liar, and that's what's going to get her into trouble, is that she lies. And I almost am starting to believe that. Now, you guys obviously entitled to your own opinion. That's why I love my channel. Everyone has a seat at the table. So everyone has an opinion that's valued and relevant. So make sure you leave your comments. We can always agree to disagree as long as we are kind and respectful in the comments. Like, that's what makes the world go round. We don't want to all love and hate the same people. How boring would that be? This is a channel for everyone. If you love the Gorgas, then tell me you love the Gorgas, and I'll tell you that I respect that. Like, it is what it is, okay? But I want you all to hear this clip. This is a clip. Melissa, and she has Margaret on the podcast, and this is the clip referring to TERESA on Watch What Happens Live.
One to cross his T's and dot his I's, so he's watching and learning.
Hold on, we gotta get it started over.
I don't believe that TERESA never
I wanted to start over.
When I first got on the show, we would have to write a blog.
Okay, here we go.
A little bit of like the old school past, like just let's go full blown and attack. But then I kind of it came full circle to me because TERESA was on Watch What Happens Live, and she was bringing up 10 years ago, and that she watched she's now watching all the old clips, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense as to why all the hater accounts are saying exactly what she's saying. Is this just like a coincidence? And then she brought up Louis, and I think Louis is definitely one to cross his G's and dot his I's, so he's watching and learning, and she's like, I don't believe that TERESA never watched the show. We had to write a blog, just so you know. You didn't come around when we had to write a blog. When I first got on the show, we would have to write a blog.
Okay, guys.
A little bit of like the
I'll let you hear it again.
Past, like just let's go full blown and attack. But then I kind of it came full circle to me because TERESA was on Watch What Happens Live, and she was bringing up 10 years ago. She's now watching all the old clips. Like, oh, that makes sense as to why all the hater accounts are saying exactly what she's saying. Is this just like a coincidence? And then she brought up Louis, and I think Louis is definitely...
But all the accounts are doing what? That doesn't even make any sense. All the accounts are doing what, Melissa? Posting old footage of you where you're talking shit? She goes on to say that Andy... I got more for you guys, trust me. I just wanted to get this out for you for Monday morning. And with everything that's going on with the Gorgas. So make sure you guys leave your opinions. Let me know what you think, and have a happy Monday. Like, subscribe, and turn those notifications on.